so much, and also I wanted to really thank Saad and everyone on the board for inviting us. This is our first joint OTM WMS SIG, so very happy to be here and very happy to be presenting to you our product. So just to give you a really quick background on me, I started with Oracle Logfire. We used to be Logfire back in 2012, 2013 timeframe, so I've been here ever since at Logfire. I was I led the support and services team, and then as we transitioned into Oracle, I started to do the product management side of the business. So I have a lot of experience working with customers and understanding their issues and what they're looking for, and we take a lot of that experience and put it into the as far as overall with supply chain and logistics, I've been doing this since the 1900s, so I'm sure you'll be happy to hear that there's a lot of experience that goes into this. Okay, so we'll be talking about current functionality and also some forward-looking statements. So here's our safe harbor statement. I'm sure you guys have seen this. So just really quickly, I know this is the first time we're presenting as a joint SIG, so wanted to give you some history about where we come from, Logfire, go through WMS functionality, just do a quick overview, and look at certain topics. We have automation, integration, AI/ML, which is really the big topic of today, and then look at roadmap. Just to give you an idea of where we fit into Oracle SCM products, we have OTM, of course, DTM, we have our OCI cloud infrastructure, and then we have WMS, and I'm sure you've seen these slides with some of the other presentations today. All right, so a bit of history. So Logfire was started in 2007. A lot of you may know Diego Pantoja. So he started the business. It started out as a third-party consulting business. A lot of us have our roots in our competitors, let's just say. And back then, Diego went out and started Logfire as a way to go to the SI market and really work on other companies' products. And really, the specialty of Logfire used to be to fix broken implementations. So this is where the DNA comes from, right? So the first couple of customers were in Latin America, and they were failed implementations, and they were resurrected by the Logfire team. And then during that process, it's really interesting. The original team got some feedback. It's like, well, if you guys really know how to do this, why don't you start building your own product? So that's where the roots of Logfire started. And our first product was our workforce management product, which was a bolt-on product. And then they started developing the WMS. So as you can see, from 2007 to now, really things have exploded. In 2013, approximately 10 years ago, I know some of us were at Logfire. We were talking to customers about how we would do warehousing in the cloud. That was not something that was done back then. Those conversations were very difficult, especially when you start talking about automation. How do you do automation in the cloud? I have my conveyors, I have my sorters, tilt trays, and so on and so forth. How are you going to do that with a server that lives in London and I'm halfway across the world? Well, we did it. We have some notable firsts in that space, being able to transact in a highly automated environment with servers all across the world. So we were one of the first to do that. A lot of notable firsts. That's why we were getting a lot of recognition with Gartner. We made it to the MQ around our automation. And from that point on, you can see a steady growth. So we were in the Challengers quadrant in Gartner in 2016 timeframe when we were noticed by bigger companies like Oracle, and we were acquired in 2017. And really the only gap was, as far as us getting into leaders, was having the exposure and having the SI network to be able to go out and really implement. And of course, coming into Oracle, that gave us the rocket boosters, right, in order for us to propel into the leaders quadrant, and we've been there ever since. So our dot is based solely on Cloud WMS, our product. It's not on 4 or 5 different products all the way across like other competitors are. So we have one product that does that. So, and where are we now, right? So in 2019, we migrated all of our previous infrastructure over to OCI and ATP. We did that in one move, in one update, 19C. If some of you guys were around that time, we did that in one move. So imagine moving your entire infrastructure and your database in one move. So we've got the team that could do that. We could pull it off. Of course, we've got other corresponding Oracle products that also enable that type of a transition. I remember with some of the other folks that I've worked with before, nobody would have even attempted that. So lots of interesting things that we're able to do with the team that we have. And then where are we now? 2025, we're looking into lots of new development, lots of new features when it comes to AI, ML, and some of the really cool things that Oracle brings to us. Just a little bit of history there. Okay, so as far as our differentiators, what do we see? So, we do anywhere from simple warehouses to complex warehouses. We have very large customers that have a tremendous footprint. They have highly automated facilities, all the way down to very small mom and pop shops type stores that they have on our system. So we do all levels of complexity, level 1 through 5, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. We're multi-tenant, and we've been built for the cloud since day one. As I mentioned, Logfire started fixing broken implementations. So how do we do this better? So we were always architected for the cloud, highly available, scalable, and performant. We're very configurable and extensible. Configurability, like I mentioned before, we have one product that handles everything from level 1 to level 5, right? Other competitors have multiple different versions of their WMS that they have out there. We have one version. We can do standalone. Of course, we have our DNA as a independent product, but also having come into the Oracle ecosystem, we're integrated with SCM. We have 4 updates a year. I think in a 1-year time frame, you can take a look at a snapshot of the number of features. We have anywhere from 120 to 140 features that we release every year. So the product that you have today is not the same as a year ago, which is not the same as 2 years ago. So it really moves along at a very fast rate. Implementations are fast, and the total cost of ownership is also tends to be very low. One of the main things that we hoped to address back when we were founded was how to get out of that upgrade cycle, right? That was a huge issue for customers. You would do initial implementation, you would spend X, and in 3 years, you were forced to do an upgrade, and the cost of the upgrade was 4, 5, 6, 10X of your original upgrade because of the modifications that you had put in. So there's a lot that we bring. We're also zero downtime. We can resize dynamically given the seasonality of your environment. Of course, I talked about multi-tenancy, and of course, we're built on Gen 2 and the autonomous database. Just the number of industries that we cover, quite a bit. Global presence. We have some joint OTM WMS customers as well. So pretty big footprint, and it continues to grow. So this is Gartner's different levels. So just as some background, I know we've talked about different level warehouses, but level 1 is just basic warehousing functionality. It's just maybe one step above working off of spreadsheets. And then you go all the way up to level 5, which is a completely automated environment. You have all sorts of conveyor sorters, ASRS systems, robots, AGVs, et cetera, et cetera. So we have customers that range all the way across the board. Within the Oracle ecosystem, we tend to focus mostly on level 2 plus. So so that's really our sweet spot. Okay, just as if we talk about functionality as a whole, we have the complete functionality all the way across the warehouse, inbound operations, inventory management, and outbound. You can see all the way from yard check-in, what a typical warehouse process goes through, a yard check-in, receiving, put away, being able to waive, tasking, being able to execute your tasks, automation, waiving, picking, packing, shipping, and checking out of the yard. We enable automation, which we'll see. We are integrated with some of the other Oracle products, and we support a whole range of different functionality all the way across warehousing. All right, and these next couple of slides are just a quick example, going from easy operations, right, to level 1s, level 2s, all the way down, all the way up to your advanced level 4 and 5. You can see that it's one product, and we cover all different scenarios all the way across our customers, right? So you can have on the inbound side, when it comes to receiving, quality control, and put away. An easy workflow would just be LPN-based receiving, and then user-directed put away, or you can also do directed put away, all the way up to things like being able to do dock appointments, doing cross-dock and flow-through operations. From a QA perspective, being able to do accepting and rejecting and answering questions when it comes to the QA. And then, of course, doing system-directed put away, path optimization. And then also we're bringing in AI and ML-driven put away routines, which we'll see as well. Same thing when it comes to inventory operations, location management, task management, replenishment. For replenishment, for example, with many complex operations, we do demand-based replenishment and multi-level replenishment. Sometimes you have different areas of replenishment as well. Same thing with cycle counts. You can do simple location and ABC cycle counting, or you can do opportunistic or trigger-based cycle counting. And we've also introduced some AI ML capability there as well. And then, of course, on the outbound side, wave management, simple manual waves for simple operations. But then also we have, waving with zone balancing, multi-store picking. From an allocation perspective, there's all sorts of options that are very configurable. Various different picking algorithms that you can utilize depending on the complexity of your operations. And then from shipping as well, it's very configurable. So we handle all different types of complexities within the warehouse. Again, it's all with one product. We do get some accolades, which is great. Of course, we mentioned Gartner leader for 7, 8, 9 years now, which is a huge achievement. We have other analysts that also rank us as leaders. Nucleus just came out with their research, and we're a leader in their publications. And then Customer's Choice Award, we got that in 2023, so we're quite proud of that, and we hope to continue to get a lot of these accolades as we move along. Okay, so we're as you would expect in a warehouse, people are outside doing their normal daily activities. So we have full mobility within the warehouse itself. We have we're capable of mobile devices and tablets, vehicle-mounted computers. We also have mobile label printers as well, so fully capable from that perspective. We just recently released at the end of last year our mobile app. So again, it's a modern graphical mobile UI. We used to get a lot of funny faces sometimes when you look at the RF. It kind of looks like it's from 1985, right? The most hurt my feelings ever been is when I was in a a meeting and a customer had said that it looks like an MS-DOS screen. I was like, oh my gosh. So we've gotten past that. We have a very modern graphical UI now. It's very responsive, very low latency. We have the ability to scan multiple barcodes, either built in with the camera, or you can attach a more ruggedized device for scanning. And then we've built it upon our PWA, so there's certainly room for expansion there as well. And we've taken away all this need to having to download it from the store or any of that other nonsense. So it's very easy to use. And one other important thing, every single transaction that we have in the RF is available in the mobile UI. So it's a one-to-one match. There's no loss of functionality or capability there. And we're also including things like, you get other things. For example, you can display the picture of the item, which helps in picking and cycle counting. We're also adding a capability to take a picture and upload via the mobile app. So lots of interesting things that you can do with the current mobile app, which we couldn't do with the old RF. Can't do much with MS-DOS anymore. So lots of different languages. We tried to stay up to date or current with the languages that OTM has. So you'll see some similarities there. The latest update is with Swedish. Yeah. Label designer. So we feel like this has been one of our strengths since day one. Label designer is included as part of the product itself. So it's a tool that you can use to drag various different elements onto your label, so you can easily create and maintain them. It supports multi-field barcodes, one-dimensional, two-dimensional, ZPL, printer language support. But we also support third-party labeling systems with JSON. So you have the option of doing both. And again, Label Designer, this has been one of our features, one of our value adds since day one, because it's native to our WMS. Whole list of standard reports you can see. Every time you put out a standard report, you get 15 enhancement requests to change it. But we do have a whole bunch of standard reports that you can utilize. As you can see, we've just recently added a container packing utilization report. It's one of those interesting reports that we're hoping to get a lot more feedback, a lot more usage of out in industry. The idea is that you can run this report and see what kind of void space you have in your packages by container type. So the idea is that if you run this report and you find that there's a certain carton size that has a certain amount of empty space in there, then maybe that means that you can eliminate a carton or a container type or reduce the contents. All of that to show that you don't want to be shipping air around, and you can possibly use that same report to feed back into other systems. If you reduce your cardboard consumption by X, then what does it mean in your other sustainability areas? So we're hoping to get some good feedback. We're hoping that our customers use it. We get some good feedback. There's a lot of opportunity here. I think in Srini's update yesterday, we saw a lot of other sustainability efforts all the way across SCM. So hopefully we get adoption and usage of this, and we get a lot of feedback, because customer feedback means quite a bit to us, and we can continue to move down the path which our customers want. Yeah. But as I said, every time you put out a standard report, you get about a dozen or so enhancement requests for different changes. So that's why we have web reports. And again, with web reports, you can design your own reports. You can have reports, and you can have real-time dashboards. You can do this at different levels of your operation. You can have supervisor-level reports. You can have user-level reports. And again, this could be, you can vary the access to those reports as well. So just some quick examples there. You have the ability to do dashboards as well. So we do have customers that have on their floor a big screen with their daily production that they update, every few minutes, in some places even more frequent than that, so they can see exactly where they are during the day. And then again, just a couple of examples here. Dock management dashboard, something that a receiving supervisor may use, appointments by day, a schedule for the dock door and the status. Same thing with the inbound supervisor dashboard, percent of supplier orders received damage-free. That's a KPI that you can have on a dashboard. Lines received and put away per hour. And then other KPIs, right? Order picking accuracy, on-time shipments, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very flexible. It's very configurable. Like I said, you can do it at different levels of the warehouse, so different people have access to different levels of information. You can do it across warehouses. Very flexible and a powerful tool. Okay, workforce management, another area that's very important for us. As I mentioned in the history section, this was our first product that we started out as when we were a third-party consulting business. The first customer that was rescued said, "Hey, we would like to have a workforce management, a way to track what users are doing." So it was basically built from the ground up in order to support that request. So in WFM, you can set goals, right? You can set goals based off of the material handling equipment that you have and the tasks that you have. Some folks have value-added services. You can also track that. You can also separate that by how you're handling. For example, if you're using automation or equipment, and then how things are packaged. You can measure actuals, task completion time, but you can also take into account clock in and clock out of shifts and breaks. And then you have some ability to analyze your data as well. And then we've got some interesting things coming up on workforce management that I'll talk to here in the next couple of slides. Yard management, again, something else that we have on the inbound side. You can track, arrival of your goods. You can manage your dock doors. You can manage your yard locations. You have full visibility to that, and then you can also do check-in and check-out functionality. And again, this is an area of expansion for us coming up, so we'll have some roadmap items along these lines. And when we talk about various different areas, we're talking about extending the WMS. So we have value-added services, kitting, kit to stock, kit to order, parcel management, right? We have direct integrations with UPS and FedEx, and the ability to connect to other third-party systems as well. Slotting, we've got a lot of recent movement on slotting. We feel like we have a little bit different view of it. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Tasking, of course, and billing. Some of our first customers back in the old days were 3PLs. So we have billing functionality available for them. Okay, automation. Automation continues to be a bigger and bigger subject area for customers and prospects. As you can imagine, ever since COVID, workforces have reduced. There were a lot of pressures, just in general, on being able to really get the most out of automation. So, what do we provide? We provide a robust library of APIs, which enable automation. So we're vendors agnostic. We're equipment agnostic as well. So it's our large number of APIs that we have that enable all of these activities. So just a quick snapshot. Of course, this is not all inclusive, but we have our operational APIs, we have our setup APIs, we have query APIs, transactional APIs. So it supports upstream operations, downstream operations. So downstream, integrating with scales, labeling systems, other material handling equipment, robotics, So this is not the full scope of our APIs. Really lost count. They used to ask us how many APIs we have. Well, there's, don't even know anymore. It's hundreds and hundreds of APIs that are available. And some of the functionality that we have with being able to chain APIs together, I mean, the functionality there is very large. And this is just an example of how this would look, right? We have our WMS on the left, where you can configure your rules, you can create your work with waves, you can generate your events, and you can monitor activity. You have your service layer, REST service layer, where you can have logic there as well, and then you have your automation. So, as I said, we're agnostic of equipment and vendors, so you can have multiple vendors within your facility, you can have multiple control systems within your facility, and you can operate all of these independently with our WMS. And we have customers that do this. We have customers that have, for example, conveyors, carousels, ASRSs, they have AGVs, but then also have robotic picking arms. So all different vendors, so we enable that within our application. Okay, Industry Lab. So this is something that we have been involved with for the past couple of years. We collaborate with automation vendors. Right now we have Skydio, Fetch, and a couple of others that we collaborate with. And we have some pretty neat use cases, some proofs of concepts that I can show here. So this is an example of drone counting, right? So let me see if this works. Ah, cool. So you basically have a drone. It launches from its location, goes out, finds 2 areas to count. You have a location with pipes, and you have a location with trays. So it's conducting the count, and at that point, it's analyzing the data, and it finds that in your pipes you have 18 count. So you can go in and take a look at your cycle count. This is the system itself, the UI. You can see that it's made the proper updates to that and the tray count. For the tray count, you notice that it notices that there's a misplaced tray there, and what it does is it automatically creates a movement request in order to move that tray out. So this little video is showing all those different updates that are happening in the background in order to do that. So this is kind of a cool little demo of what can be done, and of course we work with our innovations lab to kind of come up with some new routines that we can do. So this one was quite popular at Cloud World. A lot of people were interested in it. It's some neat stuff that can be done. Okay, supply chain execution. We're integrated with our other products. I think Mary Beth and Carlos are going to go over some of the OTM WMS connections, so I won't spend too much time here. But we do have standard integrations recipes that are available all the way across the board with inventory, with OTM, and so on and so forth. AI, yeah, this was a big topic. Srini mentioned a lot of movement here yesterday. We're also already on the bandwagon, so you can see we have AI all the way across the board, whether it's with the mobile app or with the UI. And we have various different applications of it, right? For data, for example, error detection, document extraction, various different types of monitoring from an operational perspective, and we've got a couple slides on this. Reslotting, advanced reslotting as we call it, operational optimizations, and AI agents that are coming in the roadmap. And just from a strategic perspective, warehouse capacity forecasting and workforce capacity forecasting. We talked about workforce management and all the effort that we're putting into that product in order to bring it along. So as an example, we have our AI ML-driven fulfillment dashboard. This has been in the product for a little while. Basically, you can look at your different order types that you have and then determine based off historical data, determine what is the average cycle time and whether or not your orders are meeting that, exceeding it, or need a little bit of help. And of course, you can drill down into some of the details to try to see whether or not you need to expedite some tasks or there's some issues or allocations that you need to work on. So, this has been in the product for a while. If we have customers that are using it, we'd love to get some feedback on things that they're seeing and any enhancements that are requested along these lines. AI ML-driven dynamic slotting. So we have an algorithm called market basket analysis. It really goes through your order profile to look at associations between your different products that are ordered. Great example, I think, is printers and paper, right? So printers and paper are usually associated together. Usually when people buy printers, they buy paper. But just because somebody buys paper doesn't mean that they're going to buy a printer. So you have to have an algorithm that's intelligent enough to tell the difference between the two. So what types of associations, what directions those associations are. So a few updates ago, we released the market basket analysis. At first, it was a report. You could run the report, and you can see what those associations are and whether or not you need to make any operational adjustments to it. Since then, more recently, in the past few updates, we've been able to incorporate that into our put-away routine. So this idea of reslotting, right, it becomes a very expensive, time-consuming task at the warehouse level if you have to set aside a couple of days in order to move things around. So the idea here is that you can continuously monitor your associations, and the associations that continue to get strong over time, you can put that into your put-away algorithm. So over time, as you start receiving, picking, packing, shipping goods, your items that are associated with each other are put away in the appropriate locations that are close to each other so that you have them slotted correctly. So you can do this over time versus having to stop operations and do a whole bunch of movements. So I feel like this is we've worked with a couple of our existing customers on this, so we've gotten some pretty good feedback. We'd love to have more adoption and hear other customers' experience with this. Cycle counting. This is what we call intelligent cycle counting. This was just released in one of our recent product updates. So again, the idea here is to just look at historical data on cycle counts and then create tasks for items that need to be counted more often. Typically what people do is they have A, B, C items. Your A items you count twice a year, your B you count once a year, C whenever you need to, whatever the routines are. So as you know, there are things around seasonality or just different business conditions or what have you that causes those categories to change. So rather than having to reclassify your items every now and then, the idea is that you can look at your historical data, you can see which items typically need a lot of that need a lot of adjustments, and then you can cater your cycle counting tasks based off of that. Again, we've worked with customers, current customers on this, so we'd love to see adoption and get some feedback on this. Advanced constraint model cubing. So currently you can set up your cubing algorithms within the system. It's more of a linear process. Do this first, then do that. Break by X, Y, and Z, and then check out the capacity. This is a new algorithm where you can model it a little bit differently. Don't put any more than 4 items in a carton, for example, and then you can get some different results, right? So the idea here is that we can be a little bit more flexible on what type of cubing algorithms that you can use to see whether or not you can get better results using different routines. Again, this is another option for our customers. This is something that Oracle also provides us, right? Oracle at the database and infrastructure level provides us all these different algorithms. So we're we're utilizing this. So again, this is something that we hope that will reduce a lot of the wastage that occurs in shipping and then makes the entire process more efficient. So quick note on the roadmap. So what do we have coming down the roadmap? So one of the things that we have coming up in the next couple of updates is our document import. So this is a way that you can upload documents. So a lot of our customers don't have advanced shipping notices, right? They just have documents that they're working on, whether it's a packing slip or a bill of lading. Being able to use our product, our feature in order to scan the documents, read important elements out of it, and then create an ASN. Or you could also use it to double check, right? You already have an ASN, you have a document that's associated with, you can utilize our document import to do a check based off of it as well. So, we're working on this. Obviously there's some complexities, how do you handle certain situations? But this is something that we've got on the roadmap, and we're hoping to deliver in the next couple of updates. And just in general, so we talked about the document import with OCI, also AI agents. I think Srini talked about this as well. How do we summarize things like wave results or daily performance? How do we do that? We're already utilizing Word Cloud to look at wave logs. So that will give you words that are repeated more often, so that gives you a clue, but how do we take that to the next step and make it more conversationally based and easier to understand? Slotting optimization, being able to, for example, use AI/ML to take a look at seasonality and automatically trigger movement requests to move your formerly A items out of your A locations and do some reslotting. So that's coming up. AI/ML label forecasting, we've put a lot of effort in the past few updates in order to do a lot of tracking on the workforce management side, right? Tracking travel time and distance, XYZ locations, and so on and so forth. So we're building this data set. And as we continue to go down the path of utilizing some of the routines that are available to us, we'll utilize the data that's been built up over time. All routines require a lot of data in order for them to be accurate and provide you with good results. So some of the features that we've put in order are tracking features, so that when we're ready to release some of these other features on forecasting of labor and capacity, we'll be able to utilize that data that's being built. Same thing with yard management, using agents there, being able to have a guard, for example, query, okay, which dock door is open? Rather than looking at a screen, they can just query. We'll give them some results on that. And then predict and tune, operation anomalies, which orders are taking too long, et cetera. And we talked about predicting task and travel time. So all this is coming up on the roadmap.
4 minutes.
4 minutes, okay. And not only that, but we also have, we have Fusion Data Intelligence, and what we're doing is we already have a connector going from WMS to our data warehouse. What we're doing is we're continuing to build upon that so that we can have better reporting. So that's coming up in the next couple of updates. So the connector is built, and we're continuing to work on like some of the elements on the predefined entities so that you can actually use it in analytics and reports. So this would be all the way across the different Fusion products, ERP, SCM, HCM, CX, and so on and so forth. Workforce management, we talked a little bit about this. Other things that are coming up, gamification is a popular topic out there. We're working on some aspects of that. And then also integration with HCM. That's a little bit longer on the roadmap. Okay, and here's our logistics roadmap, 25B. So
Go through that line by line?
I'm not going to go. We only got 4 minutes. So lots of great stuff that are coming. That's coming out. So as you can see, our basic themes are working on expanding our unit measure capability that's out there. Continue working on our integrations. Continue to work on our automation capabilities, and continue to work on Redwood. Redwood's a big theme for us. We've already done the mobile app. We're going to continue to work down that line. AI/ML in various different areas that we've talked about. So a lot of great stuff coming up. So what I would suggest is that we have, with every update, we do a Cloud Customer Connect session. And in that Cloud Customer Connect session, we do cover the roadmap in a little bit more detail. So please do sign up for that so that you're aware of what's coming up on the roadmap. Not only that, but also what we've just released. It's always good to keep up. And yeah, and that's it.